So I've got a dilemma here. I'm about the same vintage as you are. Getting ready to retire, want to retire, but some of us have an exit plan. I don't happen to be one of them. So I have a general contracting firm. We specialize in building custom homes and large remodels. I presently have 11 employees, and we do about between $5 and $6 million of sales a year. We operate on about a 12 to 15% profit margin on this. And I have, of the 11 employees, I've got 2 of my boys that are working, and one runs pretty much everyday operations. And I'm trying to figure out what is a fair way to segue out.
How old are you?
I'm 64.
Okay. Are you ill?
I have another month or two. No, I'm not ill. No.
Okay.
Just, I think more than anything, probably.
What do the 2 boys do? One runs what? One runs operations, the other one does what?
Everyday operations, the other one works in the field.
Okay. So like a super?
Basically, yes.
Okay. All right. Because if you're doing this much volume, you're doing more than one job.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. Huh.
So it's the dilemma is one of them is run everyday operation, does a phenomenal job with everything. He's super detail oriented, hyper focused, engaged, organized, everything you could ask for an employee. The other one is not in this category, but it's a family business. How do you, and the one has been working for me for probably about 13 years now, and looking to take it over, and I want to pass it off, but what we presently have, I'd bury him. And so
you would bury him? Why would you bury him?
Well, just too much stress, too much pressure, not properly staffed or positioned.
Okay, wait a minute. So he's running operations for the whole thing.
That's correct.
And there's 6 or 11 team members.
Correct.
What's the difference in running operations and running the whole thing in an organization this size?
Well, I'm working on the whole backside, dealing with the office and bidding.
So he's running production.
He is running production.
He's not running operations. He's running production. You're running operations.
Correct. That is correct.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so you're doing all the customer interface
on the backside right now. Yes. So who's
making the sale?
He is making the sales right now.
Oh, so someone comes and wants to do a big remodel or wants to build a custom home. They're talking to your son.
That is correct.
Okay, so what is it you do?
Basically, I run the office. I do all the billing, the ordering, interaction with subs, contracts, and the like. Subcontractors.
Yeah, I know, but why are the subs not being run by the job?
It's mostly the paperwork coming through me. So I'm basically running the paperwork in the office for these guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So it's really a matter of trying to figure out. I mean, of course, you got to put
so what you just
on.
need bench depth for what you're physically, tactically doing. And
yes.
So if someone was doing what you were doing and they worked for the president of the company who was your son, and your son kept doing what he's doing now and had the title of president, and he had a COO that did what you do, he could do the customer work, the job management and so forth, and then you'd have someone doing the accounting and the logistical sub operations out of the COO's office, and you put them in there and you pay them $50,000 or $100,000 a year to do that.
Sure. And that's someone we're trying to lean towards. But then I also have the situation of I don't need to sell the business. I mean, there's a value to everything, right? I mean, I can't just slide the whole computer over with all the books and the bank statements and so on. So here you go, keep going. Where his income is going to jump dramatically because I'll step out of the picture and won't be drawing an income.
That's a different subject, okay?
Sure.
But the first subject is, okay, there's 3 components. there are two components here that are very, very important. One is for succession plan to work, you've got to have strong leadership that can run the organization. We just discussed how to build that out. You're going to have to bring someone on, and you're going to stay another 12 months, and you're going to get your bench depth covered, and they're going to do what you do, and their new position is going to be COO, and your son's going to be president. And that's his day job, okay? That's your leadership team, his leadership team that can run the business for you guys. Then there's ownership. Ownership is separate from working there. My oldest daughter does not work here, and she is one of the owners. Okay? Rachel Cruz is a Ramsey personality, and she's one of the owners. But she doesn't run operations. Her brother, Daniel, is the president that runs operations here. Okay? Runs the business. And so that's his day job. Her day job is Ramsey personality. You've got one son whose new day job is president, who has a COO reporting to him that does the job you used to do, and you've got a son in the field that gets paid to do the job. Now, your son, when he gets promoted to be president, you may give him a bit of a bump. You should, okay? And that's going to lower profits. Then the profits are going to come to the bottom line, and you still own the business, but you no longer work there.
Certainly.
See how you separated the ownership versus working there. So you've got a day job, and then you've got an ownership. Then you get to decide, okay, out of these profits, how do I want to share it with these two boys, these two men that are my sons, as an ownership position? So you could give, 5% of the profits to the son in the field as an owner, but not because he's working in the field, just because he's an owner.
Sure.
And then you could give 10% to your son that's the president of the profits. You don't even have to give the stock over for right now. And that's a first step or two. Later on, you could have just in your will that the whole thing goes to some mix of the two of them. Is that your only two children?
I've got three others.
Okay. What are we going to do with them?
Well, they're not part of the business.
So you don't intend for them to get any of it?
There's another dilemma.
Okay.
I mean, if two walk into it and are technically rewarded to some degree or compensated for it.
No, they're compensated because they got a job.
Certainly.
That's why they're compensated. So not because they hit the DNA lottery and ended up being your kid and you're successful. So they got a job, and that job pays. You don't pay them more than they're worth for their job, do you?
No.
Okay. No. So if you keep this real separate in your mind, it helps you walk out of there. First thing is we have to create the leadership team that can run it with me being an absentee owner, just checking in with my president, son, and a couple of the other leaders, and I could have a leadership meeting once a month as the owner that doesn't work here with the leadership team that's running it, and how can I help as the owner? And then you do the books. They have the books done by the COO, and you review the books. We close the books, and I take the profits and put them in my pocket if I'm you. And then the next step would be to start to share the profits with the two that are there if you want to. And then the next step is to figure out long-term, what are we going to do with the ownership as you age and or die? How are you going to break that up, and how are you going to hand that off? There's no wrong answer. You could choose to give it all to the president's son. You could choose to give 75% to him, 25% to the other one that's working. You could choose to give it evenly to the rest of the kids, which would make it hard for the president's son to run, by the way. I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah.
But so you got 5 kids, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, so you can figure out, maybe president's son gets 51% and the rest of them split up 49. I don't know. You can make it up, right? And all that means is not that they tell anybody what to do. It just means they get paid out of the profits.
Okay. That's one angle I never looked at it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that input.
Yeah, so if you'll separate the leadership team and the operations of the business as one category and the ownership as another category, you can start to see a path to create a 1-year exit ramp or an 18-month exit ramp or whatever on your succession plan, and you'll get new energy from doing that. And you can telegraph that to the customers. You can telegraph it to your sons. You can telegraph it that I haven't decided what I'm doing with the ownership aspects to to everybody. I'll let you know on that later, but I am going to let you know right now that we're elevating so-and-so to president as I step away sometime in the next 12 to 18 months. As soon as I get my bench depth done here, I got to train somebody up tactically to do what I do every day so they can report to the president's son, the son that's the president, that guy. So cool stuff. You're a good man, John. You're closer than you feel like you are. You just need to treat this like a building project. We need a blueprint, a timeline, and a budget, right? And let's lay it out and just execute. And then you'll look up and the house will be built. And that's exactly how it's just another project. That's all it is.